Hello and welcome back to the HH Gaming Podcast, brought to you by hellhades.com. Today we are joined by the entire team of content creators here for Hell Hades websites and things like that. So we are going to be talking about the new feature that we've just added to the website, which is the team builder onto the optimizer. How it's kind of impacted the way that the optimizer works and the things that people are able to do with it, and also touching on some things that we've got coming up next week with the launch of New World, which is obviously very exciting. Now, we are only going to touch on that briefly now because we've got a bit of a special episode coming up on Monday, which you'll be able to catch, which will give a lot more detail as to what we're planning on doing with New World. But yeah, until then, how's everyone's day going so far?
Yeah, pretty good so far, thanks.
Yeah, not too bad.
Just started.
so Jack and Luke, or Never and Lockers, you guys have obviously been on the podcast once before. But yeah, it's obviously great to have you back. And yeah, so one of the things that we obviously released this week was the team optimizer, which is something that we've had under wraps, I guess, for a little while now.
Good stuff. Always secret stuff.
I know we've hinted at it for a while, but it's finally gone live. So anyone who's looking to build a team in Raid Shadow Legends and hasn't already checked out our team builder, we've now got a team builder in the optimizer. So I don't know, Paul, do you maybe want to do like a brief explanation into the optimizer and or the team side of it, and explain how it works?
Yeah, so I think we've had the one champion optimizer for ever since it's come out now. What's that, 9 months? And we've been improving and iterating, finding different ways to improve, adding things, adding the new sets as they come along, finding ways to make the optimizer more functional, more accurate to get the best builds out. But obviously something that we've always wanted to do from the get-go is have a team builder. And when we mean team builder, we talk about the ability to have 5 champions or 4 champions for arena in one go, optimize them together, and then long-term have methods and tricks in there that basically allows you to optimize combinations of champions as to how you'd want them to do it without having to manually tell something to do that. So for example, one of the things we're going to be looking at very soon in the team optimizer now is having the ability to optimize for arena, and then it automatically tells you the fastest champion can be 306, so I'm going to automatically pick the next champion to be in tune with the next champion and vice versa. So you essentially don't have to use a calculator, but you might choose to do so, and that's something we want to do. But what the current version of the team optimizer is going to do for everyone is, if you want to optimize a series of 5 champions in one go without having to go out and in all the time and doing all that, you can do so. You can go into there, you can pick your 5 champions from the list. You can either have the configuration copied to all your champions, or you can set different ones for different champions, pick your sets, pick your equipment, and optimize in one go, in one screen. Then it will give you the best result back. And then from that, you can then build it out in Raid. Now, obviously, like the current optimizer, you still have to build the champion yourself. But what we're hoping for with this implementation is the process of doing it for you now is much quicker and much faster. And there's also some clever little tips you can do, what we'll go through later on in the podcast. But that's what Team Optimizer is. It's designed to basically make your life easier, optimize 5 or 4 at one go. And yeah, so far positive feedback. We spent a very long time, about a week, testing it to make sure we could break it and fix it. There are things people are already highlighting that we need to improve in terms of, if you leave the screen, you have to start again. Yeah, we probably should have thought about that, but we're constantly improving on it. But yeah, that's what it does.
It's crazy, actually, because when you compare the launch of this feature to when we launched the original optimizer, we've obviously learned quite a lot along the way.
Hugely.
Because the launch of this has basically been followed up with me getting almost no whispers about it at all, which is amazing. But when we originally launched the optimizer itself as a one player or one character optimization program, initially everyone was like, this is amazing, but this doesn't work. And it's taken us months to get to the point where we were happy with it, and that's why we were so reserved with the release of the team optimizer,
Yeah.
because I know there's other people who have been hinting that maybe they're working on something similar and things like that. And it's not like we wanted to rush it out, because we've been working on this literally for months. You know, it's something that we had in the works, and we didn't want to push it out until it was ready.
I think the thing is, if you go back and watch some of the really early videos on the optimizer, the one thing for me personally that sticks out, I mean, I wasn't with the company until a couple of months after it came out.
Yeah.
It was a technical expert's dream.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, so like, you know, for example, Jack, look, you guys are not like technical experts in the sense, you know what I mean? Like, you're not like 1 + 1 multiplied by exponential equals 1,200,000. Even I'm not to the level of the team that primarily works on the way that the optimization works. Yeah. However, what you see is, like, in the olden days, using the optimizer was like you needed almost like a PhD to kind of almost enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
And the biggest improvements we've done over the last like 6 to 9 months is actually bringing it into a position now where an average player can join become a member of our site. If you want to become a paid membership and get the premium features, you know, that's great. We really appreciate that. There's nothing in our optimizer that sort of restricts you from doing it.
So feel free to subscribe to the.
Remember that when you subscribe, you support the team. Yeah. Great work that they do.
I think actually, just touching on that quickly, and that's something that I do want to highlight, because Hell Hades did put this out in his video. When we originally launched the optimizer, everyone kind of jumped down Hell Hades' throat saying, oh, you know, you're just trying to grab money for it as well, actually. And he did actually say in his video quite the exact figure that he takes from the website and the optimizer and things like that. And it does kind of put it into perspective that we do have a team of, obviously, the 4 of us here, but then we have the extended team, we have the development team, and we have the other guys that are supporting us on a part-time basis. That the optimizer and the website are supporting. So, you know, it's not money that's just going into Hell Hades' pocket. You know, this is going into supporting the team, and we really do appreciate effectively you guys, by supporting the tools that we produce for the community, allowing us to do, you know, the dream job of effectively, you know, working on computer games and things like that. So it is a massive thing, and you know, the lowest tier to the optimizers for $4.99 a month,
and you pretty much get most of the things with that one.
You do, and the thing is, you know, to put it into perspective, it's the same cost as what you would effectively buying us a coffee. But when we've got a mass support of people behind us, is what allows us to keep doing this day in, day out as a full-time job, to be able to, you know, keep up with the demand, I guess, from the players in the game. Because, you know, if we were still only doing this as a side project, then, you know, we probably wouldn't be looking at a team optimizer until sometime next year.
I think the best way to look at this is, you know, people come to the Discord channel all the time going, oh, it's great, can you do this, can you do that, can you do this? So yeah, it can, but that's going to cost time. Time is money, and we're not dealing with people here who are doing it as for fun. These are people who started it maybe for fun, but they've got full-time jobs, they've got other things. You know, some of us are full-time. Some of the team works on it part of the time, and there's obviously an arrangement. But if you want things done quicker, then that's going to cost money, and that's where the subscriptions and the support that the community gives us really pays off. Is it inevitably benefits the entire community long term. And we don't do it for, like, you know, money grabbing or anything that kind of sense. It's kind of like, you know, it's paying the team to build stuff that you will then find beneficial for yourself.
But we're not cruising around in Ferraris, put it that way.
We're not Plarium. We're not funding, you know, none of these payments actually fuel our yacht for the next 2 years, unfortunately. Although, you know, you have got a boat in your fish tank, so that's progress. That's what we're talking about, right?
I was going to say maybe a little yacht.
So, but the thing I was like trying to make, like, if you want to use the team optimizer, all the features you've got in the normal optimizer as a free user, it's in the team optimizer. We haven't restricted it for anyone, you know. The premium features that we have that, you know, help you make decisions around artifact ratings, that help you show skill damage and stuff that adds value. That's obviously going to be, that's going to be added to the team optimizer. Some of it's already in. I think skills is on our immediate list to do. But using the team optimizer, create an account, go in, and play with it. It's no, there is no restrictions for any user right now. And I think that's the biggest difference that we've had now since the start is...
I guess the one restriction is the fact that it is only working on the GPU optimizer at the moment.
Yes.
So you
and
do
on
need
that
a
point,
graphics card.
I think if people think, oh, well, I don't have it, it's not that we're not going to do it. We are going to put it over to the improved brute force eventually. And what I mean eventually is once we've made sure that the GPU side of things and all the features work, then we will start bringing in the compatibility. But we didn't want to spread our resources too thin and then have too many problems to fix. And our stats tell us that the majority of people use the GPU optimizer these days. So we will support a non-GPU option, but it's not in at the moment.
So, I mean, this is like sort of the testing phase. Obviously we tested it internally, but that's a pool of 5 people testing it. Whereas now we've got the pool of, a couple of thousand people testing it, using their graphics cards to see how that then performs. And then obviously we can look at optimizing that for the brute force version of it, which doesn't require a graphics card, but it does put a whole lot more strain on our server to be able to do those calculations.
It's more about the fact the accuracy is weaker with the improved brute force. The GPU is able to analyze substantially more builds and substantially more combinations just by the way that it works. Whereas the improved brute force is it calculates the builds in a slightly different way, which does lead to less accuracy and potentially less options for you to choose from. So there's variability in that sense. Obviously, on the GPU side of things now, we've got the optimization for damage. So the way that works is it will look at whatever skill you've either set, or if you set it as just highest overall, it will find the build that returns the largest damage calculation for the skills. That's the way that works. And then in terms of survivability, there's an internal formula that works out how much effective HP your champion has between defense, HP, and various other factors. The survivability will basically will prioritize stats. It's almost like generating the importance sliders for you rather than you having to kind of put them in and arbitrarily tell something or what you wanted to look for.
Sure. It just makes the process a bit more streamlined, I guess.
Exactly. So you can basically, if you want to find the highest damage build for your nuclear, the GPU optimizers are likely to find you the best build. The improved brute force will find you a good build, but it's probably going to miss the best build potentially just because of the way that it works. Which is not to say that the improved brute force is bad.
No.
It just means that it's not as good, That's basically like saying, I might go to, I don't know, Starbucks and get a coffee, and then I might go to, I don't know, like the bespoke coffee house where it's like ultra good and it's really rare and exotic beans.
I love coffee.
You know what I mean? It's like the exotic one is going to be the best one you can possibly have, but it doesn't necessarily mean Starbucks is bad, although some people don't like Starbucks.
You might just be starting a war in the comments right now.
I might just be saying like Costa versus Starbucks for all you UK listeners, but that's an example. You're not going to get a bad experience with the brute force, but you're going to get a better performance from the GPU. So if you can use the GPU, we always recommend that's the route you take. Awesome. So from you guys now, so I'm obviously talking from a technical perspective because I've been working with the team to find how it's going to work. How have you guys used it so far in terms of the team optimizer?
I mean, I've played around with it obviously while testing it, and since we've released it, I built my Bommel 90 team through it. As much as I can't test it till tomorrow.
I'm not sure you want to test it, to be honest.
No, I'm not sure I do either.
Brutal experience.
But it's built. So we'll see. I'll let you know how that goes. But I think it's going to be amazing for takeovers. Obviously, when we're doing, say, a clan boss regear for somebody, being able to just throw their whole team at once, it's going to be a huge, obviously, in terms of time, a massive saver.
Yeah, because I think the thing is as well, and this is something that we try and enforce with all of our tools, is like this is a tool. It's not going to do it for you. So you still do need, you need to apply your brain. You need to, know that you're putting the right stats in and picking the right champions and things like that. Still, it's not going to play the game for you. And that's why on a basic level, you can look at other guides and things like that as to find the comp that you want. and build a team that way. But then on a more technical level, you've got the guys Never and his team of people who do the takeovers on our website, who can use it as a tool to actually speed up their process and get more people done in a quicker sort of a fashion. So they can then say, okay, cool, I'm looking at this account, okay, I can build a team out of this. I can then go plug them into the team optimizer and optimize them that way, and then build the champions much faster than having to do that all manually. I mean, we've all seen it on Hell Hades' streams that when he doesn't have access to the optimizer, his takeovers will probably take 3 hours rather than an hour and a half to an hour. So when you put that across somebody who's doing it 7 days a week, that's a massive improvement for the tool for those guys.
And there's things like as well, like you saw last night, I think he was doing a finite setup. Now, obviously, you normally do use Team Builder. Sometimes if you're switching between champions, you forget which champion you're taking something off and which one you aren't. You have to do one at a time. Whereas if you've got all 5, you can literally do the optimization as 5, then go into the account and literally change all 5 champions from one screen because it's remembered it's figured it out.
It's always annoying when you build one champion and forget to lock it and move to the next one.
And then it's going to recommend the ones from the previous one.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, I've done it so many times.
Especially when you're building, like, say, a Bat Eater and you finished your Manny to 1, move on to Manny to 2, and it's like, oh, just take all of the accessories from the other one.
Yeah. And
I think
at
one
that point,
thing
you realize you can't even build the team.
Well, one thing that I've used it for, which I saving for the podcast as a little tip, is this weekend I've got a big plan to completely regame my entire account, speed up my teams, various different things. And what I realized, you can use the team optimizer to do like this, the statement of, okay, so I'm building a team for 3v3, and I want to make sure my Arbiter, which is my main speed team, has got the fastest gear. But then I want to know what my next second best fastest is. Well, what you can actually do is almost go put Arbiter as champion 1, put your second speed lead as champion 2, and then prioritize within the optimization, go right, first prioritize the fastest speed on 1, and then it'll lock that out.
That's a cool idea.
And then you can do the next one. Or if you wanted to do more, like
that.
In my Clan Boss comp, my Lydia has to be extremely fast. It's the same comp that Hell Hades runs. So I can slow that down now with an aura. So I could essentially put my speed lead, Lydia, the 2 man-eaters in, and then a 5th, for example, and it will basically build out the champions in those orders without necessarily negating the goals of the first one. So I can get like the fastest gear on my Arbiter, then I can get the next build for the Lydia done because it needs to be faster than others. Then I can do the man-eater and that, and then after that I can put another speed lead in it as the 5th champion, and it will go, okay, after I've done all those 4 champions,
you've then got your fastest champion.
This is what you're left with in terms of speed.
I like that. That's some big brain.
I'm not sure people have used it for that yet, but that's what I would do. Like, I found that incredibly
Looks like
useful.
you're in a disco there, Jack.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on.
It's the funny lighting. It's I'll be honest, like if I opened my curtain here, you'd see how bright it is today. It's insane. The sun is beaming on the UK today. So
Is it?
well, it is here.
It's raining here, I'll be
Not
honest.
here.
I'm quite sunny, yeah. I'm pretty sunny here.
Yeah, it's sunny here.
It's
There we
really
are.
miserable. It's not raining, but it's not very
Oh
sunny.
God, something else is going on now. The podcast is going mental.
Yeah, it's all going crazy.
Whatever you do not get angry. Don't get angry.
You just go Hulk on it.
Okay. You're not whatever Banner, whatever his name is.
Bruce Banner.
There you go. You're not that. You haven't had a chemical infection or anything like this. Just stay calm.
So
I've got it.
obviously we've got the team optimizer out there, and obviously if anyone does have any feedback on it and they are using it and they stumble across any issues, obviously make sure you can head over to our Discord. We've got a dedicated channel for the optimizer and the website for feedback. So make sure that you are letting the team know. Don't just sit and hope that it gets better if we don't know that you're having this issue. Or at the same time, it may not be an issue. It may just be that you don't know or haven't seen a feature. So go there, ask for help. Don't sit on it and worry about the fact that I can't use this. If it is a genuine bug, then we want to know about it so we can fix it. At the same time, if it's a genuine you know, just we haven't explained it properly, then again, we want to know so that we can help inform other people who may be having the same issue. But just moving on from the optimizer, obviously next week we have the launch of a brand new game, which all of us have been looking forward to. We've played through
Yes.
two betas on it now. I think we've
Been a
probably
long 2 months.
yeah probably combined what 500 hours between us
Something like that.
into this game. And yeah, so if anyone hasn't heard about it and they haven't heard the next game that we're going to be covering, Amazon New World will launch on Tuesday next week. And yeah, it's something that we're pretty hyped about doing and putting out there. I mean, Jack and Paul and Luke as well. What's the plan for launch day for you guys?
Getting as quick as possible. Let's get the first one in.
Just sit
in a
there
queue.
queuing. Like,
Yeah, pretty much for like
Sit in a queue and
hours on
pray.
end.
The joys of working
yeah,
at our computers, right?
yeah, exactly.
I'll
We'll be
just
able
have
to
it in the
hit queue
background
early.
whilst I'm doing stuff. It's fine. And then eventually I'll get in. And then it's hemp farming, of course. Creating my biggest drug empire possible in
Yeah.
the new world.
Paul,
I will buy a house this time.
yeah, Paul Escobar, like
Yeah. Hell yeah. Just call me Mr. Hemp.
yeah.
I'll find that fiber anywhere in the world. It
So
might take me hours,
Days.
but I'll get it.
So the plan is at the moment, for anyone who hasn't been following this, we've talked about in the podcast a few times that we are going to be doing a live stream with Hell Hades as well, with the goal of doing it for 24 hours straight on the launch day, which could be extremely interesting. Now
We'll start a pot of who falls first. maybe.
yeah, so I'm
then do a
slightly
penalty.
disappointed with this because depending on when the launch happens, I'm actually going to miss it, which I completely forgot about. But I'm actually going riding motorbikes on an airfield on
I feel
the
like
28th.
that's a penalty fine.
I
we have
know,
to
right? But I'd completely forgotten about it, and it was only when I looked at the calendar and saw the dates, I was just like, oh, right, okay.
Just go ask Amazon to push it a day. You know?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure they'll
if-
do
I'm
that.
sure
for
they
you.
wouldn't mind one more day.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's not tempt them.
Been a year and
because-
2 months. It's fine.
Yeah. So
What's a day?
but as soon as I get back from that day out, so I'll be back about 4 p.m. on the 28th. If the game hasn't gone live by that point, then I will be jumping in on this event. With the plan, I think we're either going to stream it. I mean, Hell Hades will probably stream it on his channel.
Yeah.
But we're either stream it here on our YouTube channel or on a Twitch channel. But we'll decide that. So basically, the plan is that on Monday we're going to be doing a bonus episode of the podcast where we're going to talk about our plans for the New World launch. Also, we'll give you guys some information as to what server we're going to be on, what faction we're going to choose, and things like that. So if you do want to get involved and come and join our company in New World, you'll be able to do that with the information that we give you. And we will push that out well before launch so that you know where to create your character and things like that. So but yeah, I think it's definitely going to be fun. I mean, Jack, you put a lot of hours into New World.
I have.
Have you decided what weapon you're going to go with first?
So I want to be like a healer. I think healer's the way to go. Even if you're playing
don't turn a
solo.
Paladin. Oh,
Yeah, even if
Didn't
you're
they
solo,
nerf that though?
probably, but I think just the self healing itself is big enough. When you're like, if no one's around, then I'm basically just going to get killed a lot. Especially if you go PvP mode, at least got a chance of got either secondary or primary is
Yeah.
the life stuff. So
I mean, I think the only other option for like regenerating health outside of like consumables is the hatchet build. Which
Berserk. Or something,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, you
where
would bring up the hatchet build. I'm traumatized by your hatchet build in one encounter.
well, some of the information that we pulled out of the game, and I've seen some of the weapons and stuff, and some of those hatchets look amazing, and they will look fantastic hitting the wall behind my
Yeah,
target.
they will look beautiful. Slammed in the wall whilst my
Yeah.
dead body's on the floor because it didn't land the
Yeah.
hatchet. And all I heard all the time was, "Shing."
Yeah, ching, ching, ching.
I mean, at least it didn't hit me, I suppose. That's something.
Yeah. Oh, friendly fire would be a bit,
That would be fun.
bit painful in the dungeon environment, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I'm honestly
100%.
undecided on my weapon choice now because the
Over
last
the hammer.
Yeah, you can't drop the hammer,
Oh,
surely.
No.
After
The
that
last
beta
few days of-
experience.
I've
I think I
never
may
heard
have-
Paul so excited as the
Yeah.
day that he picked up that hammer. And he was like, I'm just gonna go squash things.
It was like I was Thor for a day. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you know that scene in Avengers Infinity, was it Infinity War? Like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
Infinity War,
Infinity. Yeah.
where he comes back from the planet where like the moon, and he's made
Yeah.
his big axe, and he comes in and he's like, bring me Thanos, and he jumps up, and I was like, I'm all over this. This is me right now. In the open beta, I actually made like a Jamaican Bob Marley character with a
Yeah.
hammer, and it was just the most hilarious thing I've ever. It was like basically Bob Marley meets Thor with a hammer, and I was just smashed. But I don't know. I feel like I may have overdone the hammer a bit now, and I need to branch out. The last couple of days of closed beta, I was playing with different weapons,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure. I kind of like the rapier kind of thing, where it's almost like, on guard.
Yeah, that I tell you what, I played around with that very briefly in the first round of testing, and
Same.
I actually quite enjoyed that build.
The good thing is we'll see a lot less two-handed axes now, because
They
they've
nerfed
obviously
them.
bug fixed a lot.
Yeah,
of the buttons with it,
100%.
where it was like doing double damage and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So we'll see a lot less two-handed axes now.
I enjoyed the Frost Gauntlet. That was quite fun.
That's what I'm
Mm.
swinging towards at the moment. Actually, the Frost Gauntlet is so cool.
Yeah.
I did, until I realized my life staff did more damage than it. And I was a bit like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably shouldn't use that.
I think they've tuned a lot of it, so it's going to be
Yeah.
different. I know,
The
obviously, we don't know
light
what they're going to
staff
tune
got
between.
nerfed, though. I think it was doing
Yeah,
too
it did.
much damage.
It was
The
too
healing
good.
did. They basically reduced the.
I thought it was the damage that it was doing, because it was effectively a mage which could heal everyone at the same
Well,
time.
I think what they
It
did
was
is they
pretty busted.
I think they penalized the tankiness of them more than anything else. They're basically just saying, if you're a healer, you should be light armor.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't be running around in like a tank gear and healing like no tomorrow. Like it's just not what they want you to do. And they've obviously tweaked a lot of internal numbers. We won't truly know until we kind of get in there and see it. But
Mhm.
obviously the bug fixes are more impactful than anything else, because I think the two-handed axe was basically doing way too much damage because it was double hitting.
Yeah, it was like
100%,
double
yeah, it was
double hitting, wasn't
disgusting.
it, on the abilities?
Yeah, the people basically use the two-handed axe to basically pull people in and just get annihilated.
Mhm.
So, and we don't actually know what the PvP scaling is going to do to the game either, because that's a big impact, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of negativity around it at the moment. We don't really know how it's going to work. So, but I never got beyond level 35, 40, so I didn't play the outpost
same.
rushes. I didn't play
No.
the wars that often. I got into one war. But I feel like unless you're in the company, you're not going to get into a war.
You
because
got
the
into
company-
that very early as well. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It was
remember
basically
you
a
saying.
Zerg fest.
um,
I only got in because like 100 other people decided it wasn't worth their effort, and they're like, "Oh, let's just throw this poor minion in."
Just accept him quick. We need numbers.
I was feeling like Thor going into it. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna smash them, and then when I
Lamp.
came out, I was like, I'm now Baby Groot. I'm done. I'm useless. I am no more. So yeah, I don't know. I'm so looking forward to just like getting in there. The thing about New World is I've not played an MMO like it where you actually do nothing for hours and you're not
You
disappointed.
just get lost, don't you?
Yeah,
Get
I
lost.
played
You're doing this one quest and you just end up doing like 5 other quests before you end.
before you even get to
Yeah.
that quest. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll do this quest. And then it's,
Oh,
oh,
it's
I
on the
should do
way.
this. Oh, I'll close this encounter. I found a bit of hemp over here. I'll go farm that. And then I'll go over here. Oh, now I'm by that quest. I might as well do that. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, I was
found a
going to
load
bed.
of hemp and lost many hours. So
Yeah. And you're not like, I've played MMOs. I've played all of them apart from WoW for some reason. I've played Aeon. I've played
Wow,
what was that one
Aeon.
that came out?
I played that. Wow.
It's still out, Aeon. It's really good.
I just remember it was cool because you had wings.
Yeah, you could fly. It was
Yeah.
really good. I played like what's the one that was like all the different like water elements and stuff. It was another one like that. And what you end up finding is sometimes it's like the grind feels like a grind.
Yeah.
Whereas in New World, it's like I've like farmed like 1,000 iron. I don't even feel like I farmed like 1,000 iron. I just wandered
Mhm.
around the place and I've lost 2
I
hours
mean,
of my
you
life.
feel like it when you
Yes.
try and walk and you're like walking in slow motion because you've got too much weight.
Oh, encumbrance, honestly. The bane of my life, just carrying too much crap around me. But no, that's what is so good about New World. And for anyone who hasn't played it yet, is if you want to basically find a game that you can spend time in and just really lose yourself in a different world, it's so good for that. It's not going to have
100%.
the like, high-end dungeon running that you expect to see in a new MMO. Like, it's not going to have that. It's a new MMO. It's going to take a while. But in terms of just like immersion, It's amazing. It's one of the best MMOs for immersion I've ever seen. Whether it stands the test of time and it continues to grow that way, we'll have to see. Obviously, people are going to want content eventually. So,
yeah, absolutely, and I think that's the risk with any new MMO as to whether they can have the longevity. And it does concern me a little bit because there's no monthly fee for the game; you just buy it up front. Obviously, there's microtransactions. There's an in-game store.
There's going to be like a marketplace for cosmetics and things.
But
in a little thing, apparently there is something called a Galaxy Rabbit.
I'm pretty sure it's in beta. I'm 100% sure that is in beta.
Well, the lion was.
It sounds like a sex toy.
It doesn't sound good. I was when I saw that in the data miner. She sent you a message. I was like,
I would love to be running around. With
what are you going to do with your Galaxy Rabbit? Like,
yeah.
All right, okay.
Critical hit by a Galaxy Rabbit. There's a.
It's like I've just broken your armor and your shield with my Galaxy Rabbit.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
It's a massive purple two-handed mace.
I was wondering where you were going there.
Yeah. Going to the Saints Row days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a risk. Like it's basically following a bit like the Guild Wars model, you know. But that's done well. It's not like Guild Wars is not popular.
It's still around.
And I think the hype of the fact that there hasn't been a very good MMO that's not been like heavily microtransaction. You know, we're not talking like the Asian MMOs that have come out where it's almost like if you don't buy something, you can't play the game. People have been waiting for this type of MMO for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like a new WoW is kind of reaching that point now where people have done so much of WoW over the years. There's not much more they want to do with it. And people have been looking for what's my next adventure kind of thing. And I think New World's coming out at the right time. And
I think it's a year too late, but you know.
Well, you would say that, but then I think WoW was still really strong a year ago.
Yeah,
now,
but I
WoW
think
is actually quite weak.
I think if somebody wanted to launch an MMO and be really successful, then in the height of the COVID lockdowns, when people were stuck inside, that was the time to really.
I mean, you think the success of Raid has blown up even more because people like I started playing Raid during COVID. Yeah. Because I was looking for something to play on the side, kind of thing.
Yeah.
How many people would be in that situation if the COVID lockdown didn't happen? We don't know. But then again, a lot of people were working from home. So it's not like it's like, oh, well, the COVID meant people had so much time on their hands. That was not the case. However, you are right. Yeah. But we're still, some countries are still in it, you know, they're still.
And it's still coming back, especially even in the UK.
Yet. So,
you know, I'm hearing hints about an October circuit breaker lockdown.
Yay.
Yeah.
More time for New World though, boys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's pretend that I go outside.
Yeah, true.
What is daylight? I'm pale. I melt. I burn. Okay?
I mean, I'm literally.
Knocked your drink over.
Yep. I'm literally sat here with the curtains closed. And yeah, so it'd be a good thing to probably go outside. But at the same time, you know, winter's coming in, and that is the time of year when gamers kind of turn to playing games. You know, the nights are dark. You know, you're not finishing work and it's beautiful sunshine outside, so you go off and do something. You know, you finish work and it's already pitch black and raining outside and things like that. So especially here in the UK, the winter is the perfect time to sit and really get engrossed into an MMO game.
I mean, let's be real. We haven't got a week next week, have we? If people want an optimizer update on the 28th of September or the 29th, sorry, it's probably going to be late. If you want a website fix, it's probably going to be late by a day. You know, unless it's breaking the world.
Don't worry.
Unless it's breaking everything, we're not here. Time out. We're in New World. Okay.
You say that, Dan. Depends how quickly they find New World.
Yeah. True.
So if you want actually to get in touch with us, we'll be in New World. So just come join the company.
Yeah. So if you want a quick response, you come into the company chat.
Spin up a character.
Yeah.
Join the company
or
chat,
live on
ask
Twitch.
For your request. Or live on Twitch. Yeah, we'll be there.
But yeah, awesome. Right, we're going to wrap it up for today, guys. Short podcast for this week. As I said, there is a bonus episode coming out on Monday, so make sure you check that out. But in the meantime, obviously, thank you so much for the support from everyone in terms of the tools that we're developing on the website, and in terms of this YouTube channel, which is growing massively. So if you do like these podcasts, you do like the content we're putting out on the channel, please do like, subscribe, give us the thumbs up, share it with your friends, tell your mum about it, that sort of thing. And we will see you in another video soon.